Nora, okay? And hi everybody, and
Nora
hi.
can stay for the whole meeting, but I will just greet you. Also,
Hi,
there
we
is
are online right now. We are live, and thank you, Anna. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Sergey, for being here today. Unfortunately, we have holiday, and today we have International Women's Day. And my congratulations, all women in the world. And personally, for women who are here in this video room right now, and people and women who will see us on YouTube, and certainly my congratulations all women who involved to global online dialogue. And have a great day, everybody, and I wish you a lot of flowers from men. It's nice. And thank you very much. Today we have a very interesting topic. We will talk about youth and youth role of youth in development in different area of development our life. And we have today Anna and Nora from Serbia, and we have only 10 minutes for Anna. Anna, could you introduce yourself and say some words about you and your job
mhm.
in this sphere?
Hello. Hello, greetings to everybody. I wanted to congratulate, first of all, everybody the International Women's Day. And yeah, well, this is what we do together. I'm the coordinator of the AEBR for the Balkans, and also I'm director of planning of the CESCI Balkans. And we are dealing with the cross-border cooperation in the Balkan areas. What we do with the youth, it's ABR Youth Forum. For now, there was a seventh youth forum organized by ABR, and now we are planning the eighth youth forum that will be held in Banja Luka this year, this summer actually. Also, we have the network of young leaders for the cross-border cooperation that was established last year at the Youth Forum, and we are doing the activities of the with the leaders through the 6 working groups. One working group is dealing with the peace and conflict resolution, which is the topic of today video call. So what we wanted to accomplish actually to involve youth in the process of how the youth can influence the peace in the world, and we are concentrating in the Europe right now, but they're also discussing how they can accomplish the with the cross-border cooperation, how the peace can be achieved and maintained during the years. So what the point of this dialogue today should be to discuss how the youth can influence the peace in the region, especially in the border areas that are usually really the conflict zones and the risk areas of the conflict zones, and what the youth can do for the society in that matter. That's the one angle, but other angle is to see what the society actually can do for youth, how to empower them to have the influence on the society, and to empower them to grow to the better human, let's say, to grow them like the persons that will in the future contribute to the peace and to the good relations in their borders areas. And the third thing is what you actually can do for youth. So how the youth that are involved in these like cross-border activities that are tackling the peace and reconciliations, how they can activate their regions and the youth in their regions, and help the youth in their regions to actually do something together to motivate themselves for the first of all. So
And
this
thank
is
you, Anna.
what.
And I have one short question. And where are you right
Yes.
now? Because we see a very nice bridge behind you. Where
Yeah,
are you?
now I'm in front of the government of Republic of Srpska. because the 1 hour ago we signed the agreement with the government of Republic of Srpska, Ministry from the Regional Cooperation, with the AEBR and the CESCI about the future cooperation, and one of the things is dealing with the youth. So I'm in front of the building, actually escaping the meeting that will follow to join this conference, but I didn't want to miss it because this topic is really important to us.
Yes, it's a really important topic. Thank you, Anna, for being with us a couple minutes more. And one question, maybe difficult question for you. And next we will talk with Nora and Oktyabryna. And Anna, do you hear us? You are still here? No. No.
Yes,
no,
I'm here.
Yes, Anna, and yes, and could you point a couple difficulties? What kind of difficulties or problems you have in the field of work with youth in peace building or conciliation?
The main difficulties and the obstacles with the youth and the peace building is actually the lack of skills. The youth is actually the willingness to actually influence the peace and to support the peace and peace activities and the reconciliation activities. It's really, the youth is really high motivated, but usually they need the skills to do it. So I think that the society should give them that skills. The experts in this area should educate it and train the young people how to bring the peace and reconciliation in these in their regions. So how to influence this society in a positive manner. So I think that the main obstacle is actually the lack of skills of the young people, and they are not experienced. They're full of energy and they're full of enthusiasm, but they need experts and the support from the organizations and from the experts that can give them this background.
From whom we are expecting getting of these skills?
Well, of course, you know, we always we have the experts from the AEBR and CESCI network, but also all the partners and from the Euro regions through the whole Europe, but every organization that are involved in the peace and the reconciliation is also welcome. So the topic of the following Youth Forum will probably deal with the friendly neighborhood and how youth can contribute to the peace and to the reconciliation.
And why I ask this question? Because what I found in my life is that when I pay attention of youth, and usually youth build peace between them more faster than adults do it. And that's why I ask this provocative question to you, a little bit provocative, because I think that maybe adults do not evaluate your skills very well, and if we pay attention of your nature and grow up this nature and help them to grow up this nature and learn these skills from yours and remember yourself from kids, from our I forgot how to say in English, from our childhood, and I think it will be more productive.
Yes, I agree with you. Yeah. Well, that's the exchange, you know. The young people are easier to change, to improve, to have the new perspective, but the older ones, they're really resisting to changes, but they have the experience what will not work, for example. So I think the mixing the youngsters and the old experts is the win-win situation. So they will both benefit from the cooperating together. So I think that together the youth and the older can actually bring something good.
And Anna, and question maybe the last, because I know you must leave right now. And the last question for you: what is positive things you can share with us in peace conciliation in Balkans? What practice work, or and what practice doesn't work? But what is the best practice in Balkans? What is work for sure?
Well, it's you have the best practice, but if you look at the Balkans, you always have to consider the specific region. But even in the micro region areas, you always have to try to understand the relation in the certain region. Otherwise, it will not work. What works for the Balkans? For example, if the north of the Balkans something works, it's not necessary that will work for the south of the Balkans. Usually, there are total different ways to dealing with the problem. So every time you have to approach to the situation from the local level, to understand the people and to understand the problem and to try to build a good relation from the ground. So bottom-up approach, I think it's the best, but you also have to have the top to bottom, so it's well, you have to have the both approaches, but you have to know the mentality first of all of the people and the mixture of the people in this area, because in every area in Balkan, it's similar but it's different. So you cannot approach even in the Balkans in every area with the same attitude or with the same methodology. You have to adapt it. You have to do your research first. For every area, it's, I think, the different solution. Maybe we can share some good practices and then use them, but part of them to influence the regions, but for every region, it's itself.
And if I understand you right, there is no universal knowledge or no universal project for implementation.
Well, there is no universal project. No, there is a universal knowledge about how to deal with this, and there is some skills that you can use, but you always use it with some adaptation to the local mentality, the people. You have to do it. I think this is the only way that will have some certain effect. Otherwise, it will not have the effect that we hope to. So.
And
well,
it's not good.
In my opinion,
it's not good news, because everybody, I believe in magic. And personally, me, I believe in magic. I believe that in good internal understanding of people, very simple things. And you know that now in Ukraine we have very difficult situation in this field, like you had before. And because I don't know how it's possible to reconcile our societies, because we have so opposite now, so opposite group, and I don't know how many times we will need to understand simple things and to start to live in good conditions.
It always takes time. You can rush this process. You first need to actually be the conflict to be resolved on the national level, and then you go from the down to bottom up approach to actually rebuild the trust in the border areas and between the people. But this is the process that lasts for a long time, Well, usually, yeah.
And according on your practice and your life in Balkan region, what do you think? It's better to focus on region level, working like decentralization level, or it's better to work in national level in peace building?
You have to work on all the levels, but the focus should be on the local level, because that's where the people are living and where they are having the real problems. So and where they connect or not connect. So local level, I think it's the most important level.
And local is mean region, city level, or village level?
Well, it's depending on the country, Well, sometimes the region is too large, so you have to go to the city and village. But yeah, it's always depending on the country and the area. So yeah. but
Anna, what about personal level? It is local level also?
Yes, that's the local level also. Yeah, person to person. Usually, the cross-border cooperation starts with the person-to-person cooperation and then grows from that. Especially in the business, there is two persons from both sides of the border. They wanted to do some business together, and they just spread it to the community. So, well, that's the start.
I like your speech about to build connection, strong connection, like business connection between people, and I really support your idea to build business connection between youth. I think it's one of the good way to recover in any country.
Yes. Well, I will have to leave you now. I leave you with the all other participants. I believe that I will listen afterwards the whole workshop, and looking forward to meet you next week again. But this time I will stay for the whole meeting.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good
Bye
luck
bye.
on your meeting. Have a resultative meeting for you and yours.
Bye.
Bye. And now we have more people in our conversation. I see Octabrina. Octabrina, could you make self presentation shortly?
Yeah. My name is Octabrina Lisovska. I am founder and CEO of Dva Social Business Group, and I am a social entrepreneur. So I think that this short presentation is enough.
Thank you, Octabrina. And we have Nora. Nora?
Yes, I am project coordinator for the Central European Service for Cross-Border Initiatives from the same NGO as Anna is, and I am mainly working with topics which are related to interfaith questions and gender and migration in the Balkans.
And when you say gender, what does it mean, gender?
Gender, it means the gender equality, how to mainstream gender equality in the Balkans.
Nora, do you believe in equal in this field?
I do believe in the equality, but I think that there is a lot of work to be done.
And why I ask you? Because I am not really believing equal in all levels of gender activity, but because I think that God created little differences between men and women, and we have differences nature, but in social activity, social life, yes, I think that we can talk about equal. And let's talk about yours. And could you share your experience to work with yours, and what kind of project you implement in your NGO?
I have not actually directed the things that I do so much to the youth, but obviously this is more this peace building or peace mediation work, especially when we speak about interfaith questions like interreligious dialogue in the Balkan area. And this, like Anna just said, so it would need to be such that it involves all the members of the society, including the youth. And it starts, like I would say, the most important work starts with the youth, because their attitudes would need to be changed if we want to somehow get over with these things that happened in the recent past. So in that sense, they play an important role. The project that I have developed now, so it includes, in addition to religious leaders and policymakers, also ordinary people, meaning that we would have a multi-layer approach.
Nora, you said about religion leaders? Is it right?
Yeah, religious leaders, policymakers on one level. Then we would have ordinary people, and meaning that these would be laymen of all age groups, so that we can have really elderly people, but also youth involved in the dialogue to have an exchange about
And what is the main tool you use to work in peace consolidation? Dialogue?
Yes, this would be dialogue. I think that the most important and efficient manner is so that you will actually have these people how would I say, that they have personal contacts with people from other groups. So this would be the most important tool we use in these workshops that we are about to organize, so that you will actually, the way that we will divide people into groups, so we will have a dialogue with people having different backgrounds and experiences.
And what does it mean, dialogue? When you say dialogue, what does it mean? And because I know that we have different techniques to provide dialogue. What is technique is more effective?
Like this is like first time I think that we have actually now created a regional interfaith dialogue project draft, and this is I think first time in the Balkans there would be a dialogue of this this big, and it would be regional tackling on different levels this question. So like I have to say that I cannot say at this point before we try it what is the most best out of these things that we are going to try. But like I have my experiences from Finland. I worked in Finland for 10 years with ecumenical and interfaith questions. And there we have had positive results when people get together and they share their everyday experiences, like very banal things, meaning it can be food or music or objects related to the religious traditions, and they get to speak about that or present it to the others, like to make it very grassroots. Like this would be approach that we use with ordinary people, but with when we speak about religious leaders and policymakers, the idea is a little bit different again. But like,
thank you, Nora. Octabrina, do you have questions for Nora or?
Yes, I want to ask if I understand, you develop a social hub, a local social hub, where people meeting and discuss their problems about culture, about their relation. No, you develop a social hub, yeah.
Yes, like the idea is to make first workshops, and then we will organize these workshops in different parts of the Balkans in that manner that we will always invite people from the neighboring countries and from all the communities in that particular region in the question.
If I understand, it's not a social hub, it's a round tables, yeah?
Yeah, round table or workshop, yes.
Okay.
This is like the beginning, and depending on the response, we can then develop maybe this further to make really a hub. That would be ideal, but we of course need to finances too.
If I understand, these meetings, these workshops were organized, and on what location you organized these workshops?
We have like the first round, because I think that in the Balkans, when we speak about peace and reconciliation, there is a lot of work to be done. And as Anna also said, the process is very long. So the first round was we thought about making one set of workshops in Sofia, one in Skopje, one in Podgorica, one in Novi Sad, and then one in Zagreb.
As I understand, you organize these workshops with the support of local governments, yeah?
The idea would be to involve them, of course, yes, we would like to. But like this is like I'm speaking about a project that has not really yet come into being, but we of course we would need to involve, in the best case, all the possible local authorities, and then also local religious communities. This is very important, that they feel that they are involved in that.
I understand.
Thank you, Nora. I have a very big question to you about religion community, because here in Ukraine we have couple groups who try to start and involve religion leaders to this consolidation process in Ukraine, but it seems like our religion groups have conflict also. And first we need to do something in peace building between them. And I know that a lot of NGO try to do something very important in this field, but now it seems like it's not work. And could you share your experience how to talk with religions leaders and to involve them to peace building, and what messages you find for them, and what field you propose for them to work?
Well, I would like, if the relations are very bad, so if possible, maybe to involve some mediator that will in some manner gain the trust of both sides, like, and then manage to gather them actually around this one table, because if there is a conflict of that extent, for instance, that we have had in the Balkans, so like that they really would need to be involved, at least to be present, if not wanting to actually have the dialogue on the first place. Then also what I find is that this dialogue, especially when we speak about religious traditions in Europe, what we have here present, so I think that in all of them, as a basic principle of the religious tradition, you can find this idea of dialogue and loving your neighbor, so that you can appeal to that, meaning that this is something that, based to your confession and faith, you should be feeling like appeal to do it, because it's something that's according to your confession the right thing to do. And also when we speak about forgiveness and all these kinds of things, so you can find a lot in the religious tradition itself which supports this kind of activity. But of course, if relations are very infected, so then, like, I would suggest to have a mediator to start with, and try to talk them into this, to be part of this process.
And you said about forgiveness. I think it's very important. And how many time or how long this process takes in Balkan region right now? Forgiveness.
Well, like, this is something that I'm preparing an article about, because I'm very much pondering on and thinking about this question, because I see that there is a lack of that, big lack of that, and I'm just wondering, especially posing the question that how much we should forget what happened in the past in order to be able to forgive and go on, but at the same time how much we should remember, because those who suffered, that they should be remembered, because their lives valued too. So this is very difficult, because both of these are very important for the peace, mediation and reconciliation process. So I would say that in Balkans we still need some decades in order to have more normalized relationships.
And for me, it's very important what you said right now about balance between what kind of things we must forgive and what kind of thing we never forgive. And it's balance, because it's dangerous to forgive everything, yes, of course, but we must keep balance. And what role of yours? And because I know that yours, it's not very religion, and we start to be a little bit more religion after middle age, maybe. It's my understanding. And how you involve yours in this process of forgiveness and peace building?
Yes, this is like, I hope very much that they would be involved, but I have to say, like, I don't have yet personal experiences from the field, but what I see in the Balkans, it's very like going to do two directions, that there are extremely strong stereotypes among the youth, which is very like, it seems that there is somehow a lot of work to be done. At the same time, like it was said also here previously, that the youth can very quickly change, more quickly than older people. So in some sense, that there are some very positive developments, but then at the same time very deep divisions. So we have both, like it's like dual, my perception at this very moment. And then I notice also that here this personal level is very important, because you can have people, depending on the background and the environment they lived in, they can have like youth can have a mixed group of friends, or like that they can have acquaintances from different ethnic groups and religious groups, or they can be totally closed out from this. And that this very individual and personal context plays like a big role in some sense.
Nora, and what role in consolidation process played money in Balkans?
Money, well, like I have to say that at this very moment it seems that it's that the Balkans has been forgotten, that it's enough somehow. It seems, this is my personal opinion, that it seems that people think that it's enough that we have peace, there is no war going on, so we don't have to do anything anymore, that we can just stop. And there is, like everybody seems to be struggling when it comes to these questions, like with financing. Yeah, I do disagree that we have not we have reached a fragile peace in some sense, but it's possible to trigger it. Like we have seen some violent events happen last year even, which had this interfaith or interethnic dimension. And I think that there is a lot of work to be done, but I don't know why there seems not to be maybe so much willingness to put money into this. So in some sense, money does play, unfortunately, a role, because when there is not, so there is less dialogue.
Thank you. And what role played social thinking in Balkans right now? Social, I mean social. It's not Soviet Union certainly thinking, but social things mean what level of social thinking, like what level of caring people of each other, how people care each other, what level of this caring?
Like I would say that the people in the Balkans are very, they are family oriented. They care very much when it comes to the closest family, and that people are very, the relationships are usually very intensive. But I would say that the problems start when we speak about neighbors, which are maybe in the neighboring countries. So then we can have different approaches to this, like how much we actually care.
And I'm not hear you very well right now. I don't know. Sabrina, do you hear Nora well? Or
not always. Not always.
Okay. And I don't hear you also not well. I don't know why it's happened today. And for me, it's very interesting to know what role of youth women play in peace building right now. Youth women.
Yeah, I think that this would be something that Anna could say more about. She knows more because she has been more involved in the youth work than I. Like so that what is concretely being done and what has been accomplished. So she could say better about that. I'm not so informed what is going on.
Nora?
Yes.
I lost you. And Sabrina, are you here? Because it seems like you freeze also.
As I understand, women sojourned for the peace building if it is possible or if it is their work. Yeah, I correctly understand this.
That if now I didn't hear the question.
It's not a question. I want to understand Yes,
Yeah.
if I understand you correctly, it's not a jointly women's. Oh, I don't know in English how it. Okay, it's not a women's stream, joint stream for the peace building. Women join to this work if it is need or by work. Yeah, you understand me now?
I have difficulties to understand the last part.
No, so, some noise. Okay.
Octobrina, I ask you, could you type your question in chat, because it's really bad connection between us right now. I don't know why, what happened, but I lost most of your speech. And could you type your question to chat?
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Nora?
Yes, yes.
I hear. Okay, nice. And anyway, I don't know what will happen in Ukraine next. And I don't ask you about to make prognosis for Ukrainian right now, certainly, but according of your life experience, because I think that you had very difficult time in Balkans, and you survive and you're alive. Thank you, God. And could you share some prognosis or some ideas or some messages to Ukrainians, and for youth and for women and for men, and anyway for us? And what is main messages you can share with us, or main understanding?
Well, I am I am originally from Finland. So I'm living here in Serbia now because I have this big passion for the Balkan area, and I really love it, and I would like to do something in order to promote this reconciliation process here between groups of people. But I think that, like in ex-Yugoslavia, this reconciliation process was not well done. So I hope that in Ukraine what will be done is that you do it better than it was done here, that these questions are actually tackled and discussed openly, and that you, how would I say, that you use all the necessary tools in order to reach actually a reconciliation, because here we have peace, but it's not really like it's frozen conflict to some extent, so that you will not end up in this situation what we have in the Balkans, or especially in ex-Yugoslavia.
And I understand it. Thank you for be open with this opinion, because my big fear is that yes, it's not difficult to freeze conflict, but to resolve conflict, it's really separate process. And if we think about resolve conflicts and forgiveness, it's not enough, unfortunately. And because I think that I've read a lot of articles and a lot of reports from people who worked in peace building area in Balkans, and almost everybody pointed that foreign missions came to Balkan region and tried to help. But nobody pay attention of local people opinion, and it was a gap between wishes to help, like professional wishes to help, and thinking or thoughts which people have. And it was very difficult to resolve this problem first. And that's why I ask you about money, about donors' money, because now we have in Ukraine the same, and because a lot of foreign missions in Ukraine worked separately. It's not synchronized action right now here in Ukraine, because it seems like United Nations have own knowledge and create own way for peacemaking, and OBSE mission create own way, and British embassy create own way, and each donor, big donor, create own way, and it's these ways are not synchronized. I think it's a problem. And when I started conversation with missions and asked them to go one room to one room, like all donors, to go one room and synchronize actions, and everybody say it's impossible. That's why it's sad for me that conflict in Ukraine will be freezed, but will not resolve for many years ahead. And maybe you have some ideas how to do it, because I don't know what happened in Balkans. I think it was the same.
Yeah, well, like I also just, I'm reading a study which is done by the Nansen Dialogue Center. I don't know if you are familiar with it.
Yeah, I know Nansen. I know him personally, and I read his book. I saw his movie 20 years after war, and I had with him very big discussion in this field, like about process. And I said to him, "And your mission will be felt in Ukraine, because before you come to, for example, Ukrainian government, Ukrainian facilitators must come to this room, because I don't know what happened in Balkans. I know what happened in Ukraine, because I think that we are the same in Soviet Union thinking, and each report said that the biggest problem is Soviet Union thinking, and nobody knows how to resolve this thinking. And for me, I don't understand what does it mean Soviet Union thinking. I can imagine, but for sure no report says what does it mean Soviet Union thinking. From what how to say parts this thinking consists, and what the main problem in Soviet Union thinking. And I think nobody tried to resolve conflict through this understanding. And yes, you want to say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, like I have an idea when it comes to this post-socialist thinking. At least for me here in the Balkans or in ex-Yugoslavia, the main denominator in that is somehow, how would I say, personal irresponsibility, because people are very, they don't want to take responsibility for anything, basically. And because the society is not functioning as it should, it's very easy to keep this attitude, even though you should be responsible as a citizen. And even though the system is not functional, but certain moral values should still prevail. But like this is a long topic. I think it takes different forms, this post-socialist mentality, if we can call it. And it is definitely an issue, because that also it has an impact how people interpret even history. And this, for instance, in ex-Yugoslavia is a big problem. That people.
And Nora, could you share with us differences between citizen responsibility or social citizen responsibility in Finland and social and responsibility in the Balkans, for example, if it's possible to share?
Well, like in Finland, we have somehow, how would I say, we have very functional society, and this is a caricature that I'm now saying. Not all the people are like this, but we very much trust the administrational structures. The politicians enjoy trust of people, and that like makes valid even though we criticize also, but we don't think that their main purpose is to somehow cheat and function in some kind of manners which seek only self-interest. But for instance, if you look at the situation in Serbia, so I think that each and every citizen thinks that politicians are doing mainly that. So why, in some sense, it reflects on the individual. Why should I, as an individual, be responsible when the politician is not?
If I understand you right, is a big, like shortly, it's a big problem. It's gap, like a side of gap between government and people. Yes.
Yeah, and the very big problem is the trust, because like if the governmental structures don't enjoy the trust of people, so do we have a state? Because there is this, like, when the people living their ordinary lives, they don't trust administration. So actually, like, they somehow, how would I say, they lose the power that should be given to them by the democratic means, because they don't enjoy the trust of people.
It means if like a magic effect, like I am thinking about magic effect, how to find a short way for resolving conflict, and the shortest way to turn around government to people, like to make government closer to people and people to around to government, and to create this trust environment, like trust between, yes.
I also find it very problematic, for instance, here in Serbia, that you have in these administrational and political structures, you have people involved which have already many times showed that they are not worth trust of people, and they still remain in power. And this is, I find, like, these kinds of people, we shouldn't have them anymore in the system. But they are just being, somehow they get voted again and again and again, and this is like, how would I say, for ordinary people, this is very disappointing and frustrating when you see that somebody who already was shown not to be a good person is just still enjoying this position of power. And somehow this problem, I think, should be tackled, that how we create actually administrational structures which are worth citizens' trust.
Understand. And my proposition, because we have the same topic in next week, and I like a result of our today dialogue. And now it seems like we are talking about very, very important things. And let's talk next week about, or try to find answer for question, how to build trust between government and people, and role of yours in this process. Because what we find in Ukraine, and all analytical reports says that Ukraine needs couple generation change for good society, and maybe we have the same in Balkans also understanding. And let's looking for answers, or looking for ideas how to make this process shorter.
Yes, sounds very good.
Yes, and we have Irina, and Irina join us in the really last of our dialogue. Irina, say a couple words about yourself and make short self-presentation, and we will finish our dialogue. Irina, and you are muted right now. Switch on your microphone.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Yes, thank you, you all. Today, the thematic is very important and very, very actual for Ukraine. So we hope to combine our power, combine our activities to achieve results. Our main goal today is to decrease the time period between today living in Ukraine and transformation to growth economics, to social effects and changes in Ukraine.
And thank you, Irina, and say, make self-presentation. Who are you and what are you do?
Yes, sorry, I see many people, but I know. I'm financial. Besides my day-to-day working place, I have social responsibility. It's two activities. It's a business school for kids, what educates the new generation of real cool managers, owners, and the people who will build our economic future. And very soon, I hope, I'm really hope. And second, my activity is Women Club, what Angels of Country name. Svetlana is our part, very active part of our club. And we also combine our power to achieve the transformation, positive transformation in our brains, in our everyday living, and economic result.
Thank you, Irina. Thank you, Irina. And Irina, try to say slow, and could you make short resume of today's conversation? What was very important for you, and what you discovered from today's conversation?
I see that today's thematic is very full, and we reverse to this thematic and continue our dialogue, because there are many paths what from its building. Our goal is consists of different little blocks, and we today are just only first, second step to the achievement, because we have big differences between goals of government and people, and this differences here in our brains don't help us. It's broken, and our people can't continue going to the future as one mass.
Thank you, Irina. And Oktyabrina, and what your resume for today?
Today I hear very important thing. I think that such group must exchange between country because it is very important. I think that the level of problems in Balkan country and in Ukraine is the same. As I hear, it's the trust between all sectors of society, is the problems and understanding between religion groups. And I think that it will be a very good idea to done international exchange of these groups, if they will meet and discuss their problems in joint group. Because when people see the positive experience of solving problems, they can do more.
They want, yes, they wanted to move more forward, yes, to do more actively something. Thank you, Oktyabrina. Thank you very much. And Nora, what is the resume of your being here today? And you was the first. And what is your expression?
Well, I'm very glad. I am very glad that Anna asked me to join you today. So, like, it was very interesting. And then, like, this comparison, I will definitely look more into the this what's happening in Ukraine currently, and then comparing it, because I know the Balkans much better. So I will definitely see what, like, how would I say, if I can find more parallels in this. So you gave me a enthusiasm to do some more research. Thank you.
And thank you, Nora, and you are welcome, and we hope that we can see you each week in our dialogue, because we talk not only about yours, and we talk about women. And next couple sessions we will talk about gender and role of women in the different fields, and in peace building, and power of women in Islam. We want to talk about this topic also, and we are not afraid to talk in discuss about hot topics, and I think that we have power to talk about it right now, because what I found today is that transparency and openness are very important. And when we go to one room, for example, religion leaders and social society leaders and people and government in one room, and I think that most important things for building trust to be open to each other. And it's help for forgiveness, and it's help for everything, and for build cooperation, strong cooperation, and business activity. And I believe that the role of women are very important in this process, because it's our nature to open this kind of space. And I love men very much, but I think that nature spirit, like yes, spirit, peaceful spirit came from women, and I know that men will argue with me in this field also. But I'm talking about nature, not about social things. And thank you, Sergey, and Media IC Group for technical support. And Sergey, if you want to say something, you're welcome. You have a couple seconds for this. Сереж, если ты хочешь что-то сказать, пожалуйста. If not, если ты хочешь что-то нам сказать в конце, пожалуйста. And thank you for support.
В следующий раз.
And Sergey next time, he will support us next time. And have a great day, and everybody, and good holiday, women's holiday. And I wish you a lot of flowers, not maybe physical flowers, like feeling of flowers. And now it's spring outside, and have a good mood for everybody. And see you next week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. See you, Nora. Nice to meet you very much.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye.
It was great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.